Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we are getting into the Cluster Control Protocol or CCP. So in Check Point, ClusterXL CCP is the glue that keeps your high availability setup running. It is a proprietary protocol that lives on the UDP port 8116. So here I got these two gateways in cluster, and I have the ETH3 which is the sync interface. So what we can to take a look at the traffic on port 8116, we can capture some traffic on the ETH3 to see how the traffic is doing. So as you can see here, both gateways are sending and receiving. So these are the sync interface IP addresses, and we can see that they are sending and receiving traffic on these ports, the same port, so the 8116. So it is very important to have this port open free between the gateways. So let's shut this down for now. Okay, so crucially, CCP, it sits between the Check Point firewall kernel and the network interface. This means that if you want to see it in action, you can't just use standard OS tools. You will need to use a sniffer. So what we can do, so in a gateway, so for example, let's take one gateway here. So first we need to go to the expert mode. And we can use a command, this command for example, a tcpdump. And that's because there are much traffic goes between, even if this is a lab, so everything is synced between. So you can see here exactly as the Wireshark, but in reality it is difficult to use Wireshark, but it is easier to use a command like this one. This command says show me all traffic on this interface, and show me this, and shows the port. So we can see it is port 8116 UDP, and it's sending between this interface and this interface. So CCP has two main jobs. The first is health checks. So members send keep alive packets to report their state and probe the status of their peers. And then we have state synchronization, the delta sync. It carries the updates for kernel tables, ensuring every member knows about every connection. So we have, let's exit here, and we have this command here. Okay, so here first we can see this sync status is okay. This indicates the current synchronization status, and in our case it is okay. So sync is okay and it's working. So the next is drops. This section shows any lost updates or events, which are critical for understanding the reliability of the sync process. So all these should always be 0. If you see any increasing, so we have a problem. Next, we have sync at risk. This displays any reject notifications sent or received, which can indicate potential issues. So it's the same. This should be zeros here. Here, so sent messages. This includes the total generated sync messages and any retransmission requests or updates. So if we can, as you can see here, it is 12817. So run it again, and it is increasing. And as I said, this is a lab. In production, this will increase crazy. So next we have received messages. This provides information on the total received updates and retransmission requests. So The CCP also handles advanced functions like ARP forwarding, where ARP requests and replies are encapsulated inside CCP packets to be shared across the cluster. So now, not all interfaces are treated the same. ClusterXL monitors interfaces configured as cluster or sync, as usual in the Smart Console. So if an interface can't send or receive CCP packets, it is marked as down. So what about VLAN interfaces? So let's first take a look. So show interfaces on overview. So let's take a look. What interface do I have? So here I have these two interfaces, physical interfaces, and I have created a bond between them. So the ETH1 and 2 on both sides have a bond between them. So bond interface here, bond interface here, and inside the bond I have created I think 4 VLANs. These VLANs 10, 20, 200 and 2000. So what about the interface, the VLAN interfaces? By default, ClusterXL only monitors the lowest VLAN ID on a physical interface. So if that lowest VLAN is healthy, the system assumes the physical link and all other higher tag VLANs are fine too. So we can use, let's check here. We can use this command. Should be C here, like this. Or this, there is a better command. cphab proc -m table stat. This is very important command. Here we can see what, so this is the local, this is our gateway, and this is the other gateway. This is the GW1 and this is the GW2. So here we can see what interfaces are monitored. So here we can see this interface, which is the external interface. So as you can see here, this one, the ETH0 is the 1060. So this is the sync interface, the ETH3, and these are 1242. These are VLAN interface. So let's show interface bond 0.10. So as you can see, the 10 is 1, 2, this one, and we have 2000. 42, 1242. So as I said, by default, ClusterXL only monitors the lowest VLAN ID on a physical interface. If that lowest VLAN is healthy, the system assumes the physical link and all other higher tag VLANs are fine too. So monitoring all VLAN interfaces is not enabled by default in Check Point cluster environments. So primarily for performance and resource optimization reason. By default, ClusterXL monitors only the highest and lowest VLAN IDs on a given interface. So this approach reduces the overhead on the system by limiting the number of interfaces that need to be actively monitored for failover conditions. So okay, so what happens if this, for example, if bond 200 fails? So let's check the cluster, show cluster state. So you can see that our local is active. So let's take down, so set interface bond 0200 state off. When we do this, no failover will happen. So let's check again. We still active. This gateway is still active. Okay, that is not good. But it is very rare to have like this situation. So when is monitoring all interfaces is necessary? So monitoring all interfaces or VLAN interfaces is necessary when you want to ensure that any VLAN failure triggers a failover, not just the highest and the lowest VLANs. This can be crucial in environments where each VLAN carries critical traffic, and you cannot afford any downtime on any VLAN. So as we can see here, so again, show interface bond 0 100, and state is off, but we don't have any failover. So let's set that on again. Okay, so how to enable monitoring on all VLAN interfaces? So we need to edit a file. So let's first, so we do the same thing on both gateways. So let's go to expert mode here, and we need to edit this file here. So let's exit here. This is the file. So this is the path to the file, and this is the file that we need to configure. If the firewall kernel or something. So let's open it. Okay, here you can see this one command. So it says firewall high availability, monitor all VLAN. 0 means disabled, and we change that to 1, which means enabled. And we save here. And we need to do the same thing, exactly the same thing on the other. Let's grab the other gateway here. Because if you do it on one gateway and not on the other, you will get a problem on the cluster. So expert mode. We do the same this one. Let's grab this. And let's change 0 to 1. Like this. So exit. So we save for security. So save config and reboot. Yes. And the same here. Exit, save config and reboot. This way, our interface or VLAN's interfaces will be monitored. So we'll wait until this is done and we check it again. So now after restarting, we can log in again to the gateway. And now we can use the same command to check the status. So cp prob -m table stat. And as we can see, now we are monitoring our interfaces. So before we had only 1.2 and 4.2, but now we have 3.2 and 2.2. So now we are monitoring all VLAN interfaces. So we can test that. Before we tested to take down the bond 200 and there was no effect on the cluster. So no failover had taken place. So as we can see here, we are on the active gateway. So let's try to take that interface down. So bond 200 state off and see the effect on the cluster. So as you can see, directly it took it down because we have interface down, and the other one became the active. So let's take the interface on again. As you can see, we are standby and active. So that was how you configure the monitoring on all VLANs. So the command to check again, cp prob -m table stat. You can see what interfaces are monitored. Okay. So now, so let's talk a bit about transmission modes. So here, let's take CP prog-af in. So we have two modes. We have unicast mode. So see, as you can see, CCP mode, unicast and multicast. So transmission modes have changed over the years. In R82, so this is, I think this is the R82. Yes, this is R82. So unicast is the default mode, while older versions used multicast or broadcast. So unicast ensures compatibility within modern cloud and switched environments where multicast might be blocked. In unicast, CCP packets are sent directly from the one cluster member to another specific member. This mode is the default for 8110, 8120, and 82 versions, and it is the only mode available in these versions. Unicast mode is generally more efficient in environments where multicast is not supported or where network bandwidth is a concern. The multicast mode, packets are sent to a multicast address, and all cluster members listen to this address to receive the packets. This mode is useful in environments where multicast is supported and can help in reducing the load on individual network links by distributing their traffic. Okay, so now last thing, the CCP traffic should be encrypted. Let's check that. So you can show cluster member CCP, I think, like this. Okay. The CCP ink, this ink means encryption or stands for encryption. And we can see it is on, and that is the default setting. And you can change the set cluster member CCP, so we have on or off. So default and recommendation is to keep it on, so the traffic between gateways is encrypted. So in summary, CCP runs on UDP port 8116. It manages health checks and data sync. In R82, it defaults to unicast mode. It monitors only the lowest VLAN ID by default to save overhead. And we can monitor all VLAN interfaces as we did. So, master these details and you will have a professional explanation of how checkpoint clusters stay in sync. So even today we have the ClusterXL mode, but ClusterXL is still used in the majority installations. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.